Hello, everyone. Welcome to the House of Ingram. I am your host, Eric Ingram, with my lovely, beautiful wife, Wendy.
Hi, everybody.
And on today's show, we have Lamar Lacangan from Sisu Collective. This man is not only a family friend, but he is a powerful pillar in the community. Three-time Music Award nominee and the founder of the I Am Hope Project that is dedicated to bringing family and community together. Most recently, Lamar has founded Sisu Collective, an award-winning media and production company that covers video, film, music, web, and branding. Lamar, welcome to the show, man.
All right.
And babe, I don't know if you know it, but I've actually known this young man since he was like in his very, very early 20s when he was Mars, the musician.
Yes.
He came to our church in Maui, and he did an amazing and incredible show, and we led a lot of people to the Lord. So he's kind of like another son to me.
Yes.
So I have two sons. I'm just gaining sons.
There you go. Try to get that Ingram name too, you know. Put a hyphen in there or something.
That's a different show about hyphen days. We're gonna talk about that. Man. We're gonna talk about that. Man. But yeah, honey. So I know, like I said, we are so blessed that you're here, man.
Thank you.
So first of all, what's going on with you at the present moment? What's happening with you personally right now?
Personally,
Yeah.
wow. Well, I recently didn't sell. I rented out my home because I'm going to be moving to Texas.
Wow. Okay.
I am slated to leave at the end of January.
Ooh, we got him just in the nick of time, babe. Just in the nick of time.
Yes. So I'm headed out to Texas. But yes, we've been growing our business, and the I Am Hope project is taking off. But me personally, like I'm in a season right now, guys, where for the most part the kids are grown. They're doing their thing, and I'm like, what am I supposed to do with my life now? Right. You know, they're grown and doing their thing, and now they're just like, Dad, go after the things that you've been wanting to go for. So I'm going, and I'm putting the foot to the gas pedal, and I'm taking off, and I mean, we'll see where the Lord leads me. I kind of liken it to, like, you ever watch Billie Jean, the Michael Jackson video where the sidewalk lights up? I'm like, right there, Lord, step right there. Yes, exactly. Oh man, we got our next record.
So do you think you're leaning more towards the music, or are you leaning more towards going and speaking?
It's a little bit of everything. Right now, like I said, the end of this year for December here, we have our I Am Hope Christmas, and that's speaking.
I love that, by the way. I've gone how many years now? Like 4 or 5 now, and I just love seeing all the kids' faces, and we're gonna probably be there again this year.
Awesome. This is our 13th year.
Yeah.
And I am trying to raise up the next people to continue it, so it doesn't just stop.
It's all about that legacy.
It is. It's about these are my fingerprints. These are the things that I've had my hands on for so long, and I'm passionate about, and I just can't leave it to just anybody. And even if I wanted to stop the I Am Hope Christmas, I'd have to keep going. Like, I'll be honest, like even this year, like I was like, oh, maybe somebody will forget about it and it won't be but the calls came in, the news, everybody, and I'm just like, yeah, I guess I got to keep going. So it's become a part of the community that they look forward to every year.
Yeah, we sure do. You know, I want you to touch a little bit. You're an amazing, incredible father.
Thank you.
And I know you went on a journey a few years ago in reconnecting with your father, and the impact that had on why you wanted to get that reconnection, because you wanted to build your legacy, but you felt like you needed to bring Dad along with it. Could you touch on that a little bit? Because I really think, like, our viewers especially love to hear how much the foundation of love and the father being present in their life is just so impactful.
Well, I'll touch on it. So last time I really saw my father, I was 7, and I had just a brief experience with him then, and there's this huge gap of 30 plus years, and I was on the road, I was touring, and I was in Jacksonville, Florida, and I get a random call. Well, not a call, I get this DM from a random girl who I usually don't even like to even look to see what's behind door number
Right,
one.
right.
But I saw the beginning of it, like 911, your dad,
Right.
and I
The
opened
social
it.
media trapdoor. We know what
Right.
you're talking
Yeah.
about. We know what
That's
you're
an
talking
episode
about.
coming.
That's another episode, another topic we need to address.
Right.
Yes, but so I opened it up, and she said a man that she met on the bus was talking to her, and he said to Google Mars Jukebox, Google Lamar Lacangan, and it led her to my website, which led her to my Facebook, and
Wow.
and she gave me his number. I'm gonna be honest, like God was like really speaking, because in my, so I've had this hang up in my life where I'm good with you, I'm good without you. And I didn't realize like that really stemmed from my relationship with my father. And so
Right.
things that I should have pursued, that I'm like, psh, whatever.
Right.
Or things that I should have let go of, And so anyway, so this comes up, and I had this opportunity. So I called my dad, and I knew immediately when I called the phone, because it was his voicemail, and he was singing.
Oh, wow.
I was like, that sounds just like me.
Oh, wow.
There was no denying. Like the DNA was like, if you heard,
Wow.
if there was a curtain here and you heard him and me, you might not be able to tell us apart.
Wow. That's
Other than our
incredible.
life experiences together,
Right.
So anyway, it just turns out that he's 25 minutes away from where I'm at in Jacksonville. I had no idea where in this world that this man was.
Wow. That is crazy. Now,
And
that's a
so-
God story right there.
It is.
The great orchestrator right there.
Right,
Yep.
That's the
right.
great orchestrator.
And
Wow.
but I had a dilemma, and I had a conflict. And my conflict was, I'm good without you. Like
Right.
I've gotten this far in my life, and here's how God spoke. Here's how God intervened. God said, Mark, not only are you going to go to that man, but you're going to ask him to forgive you.
Wow.
I'm like, what did I
Right.
do to him?
Right.
I didn't do nothing to him. I didn't do nothing. And then God spoke to my heart that night, because I was already not going to go.
Right.
He's like, you've been holding bitterness and resentment
Come on,
and
tell it.
anger, and you've been
Tell it.
holding all these things towards this man. And it's not so much for him to forgive you, but it's for you to be free.
Exactly.
Right.
And for me to be released, and for me to let go of this experience of what I thought a father was, because I have 3 kids, and I just totally went the opposite way. I'm like, I'm going to be present. I'm going to be
Right.
involved. I'm going to be there for my kids. But there was always a little chip on my shoulder. It was almost like I did all those things for my kids
Right.
out of spite,
Out of spite.
Right.
Just
just
to show
to show,
I'm not that. I'm not
just
you.
to prove
Right.
I'm not that. And
Right.
so
Yeah.
once I reconciled that within me, and I went kicking and screaming reluctantly, and
Right.
I think I drove a little slower, and
Uh-huh.
I think
I
I
hear you.
circled the house a few times. I can't remember. I'm lying. But I remember getting there and him coming out and taking him to eat, and I remember at the end of the night just asking him to forgive me. And he's like, all right, and he was kind of, he's been numb to the whole thing for
Right.
however many years. And
Right.
I said, forgive me. I've held bitterness, anger, all these things towards you. Will you forgive me? He said, yes. And I looked at him and I said, you know what? I forgive you.
Wow.
And at first he was just like,
Wow.
yeah, okay, yeah, cool. And I looked him dead in his eyes just like this, and I said, I forgive you.
Right.
And he just
That's power right there.
bawled. He
Yeah.
just started crying. And the first things out of his mouth was, I feel like I can live and breathe again.
Exactly.
And so
Ooh.
afterwards, what ended up happening was miraculous, because did your kids ever have that elementary homework project where they had to do like a family tree?
Yes.
And mom and her parents. So my mom's side was watered, and there was sunshine and rainbows. But every time my kids came home, I dreaded this assignment,
Right.
because when it came to my dad, like it was just withered with I don't know what goes where and
Right.
who was
right.
what and what's what. And so by me connecting with and reconciling with my father, it actually reconciled that whole part of my family.
Right.
Because then I was able in one day to talk to all his siblings. I said, I want everybody's phone number. And I called my aunts, my uncles, and here's what's crazy is that the whole family was divided.
Right.
Wow.
So they didn't even talk to each other.
That's crazy.
But this one dude, this one guy comes, he reconciles with the father, and then all of a sudden, I have access to the whole family.
The tree can live again, yeah.
And so I flew to Chicago next, and I didn't know what to expect. That's where my dad's side is from, and I'm all, whoever is here, I'm here. Right. You don't have to see me, but I'm here. And people drove from like other states to come and sit down at a table, have dinner, and they all sat around a table for the first time. And what was crazy is they didn't even have each other's numbers.
Yeah, so I think that's the biggest part of your story that meant so much to me before, and how much it impacted me, because we always think everything is about us in the present. And we are missing out on the inheritance of who came before us, that wisdom. Yep. And that also then we're drying up those family roots and the tree so that our children are getting the less, right? They're not getting a full tree of fruit and a legacy. They're getting, brokenness. And then I think that's what speaks so highly of your nonprofit too, because it's like there's so many kids that have identity crisis now because I'm just doing me, and I'm gonna figure out who I want to be.
We're surviving,
right?
We're surviving and not thriving.
Yeah.
And you bring up a good point. It's like we're pulling up the dead roots from previous, but we're turning the soil for the future.
Right.
And so now I was able to come home, and my kids have pictures of 5 generations.
Wow.
My dad's dad, my grandfather, he was the sparring partner for Joe Frazier.
Oh,
and I didn't know this. Like that's who he trained with. And so
I just got chills.
And just to be able to unpack and be able to tell my kids, this is our family.
Right.
And now my son has a picture of these people he's never met in his room.
Right.
Of just my grandfather and his siblings.
Right.
And his parents. And so it's just powerful. And just to see that I realize, with the nonprofit and myself, I'm here to break generational curses.
That's exactly right.
And
tell that.
And that is what I've done or that's what God has allowed to be done through me, with my kids, just out of obedience, because I said I was kicking and screaming. And on top of that, I found out I grew up an only child. I have other siblings.
Oh, my goodness.
Twin sisters live right here in San Diego that I was able to connect with, and they're now a part of my life.
Wow.
And then I've been able to talk to my other brothers.
Do they sing too?
I think they do, but they're more on the nursing side of things,
and
I'll encourage that. But they call me big brother. We love each other, and then I have brothers that are scattered throughout.
I mean, don't you just feel richer, and don't you feel more that push to go even further with everything you said before? Like sometimes you'll just stop, or you be like, I'm good by myself. I don't need you, kind of thing. But now it's like, you just built a community, a tribe, and I think we've lost connect with that in America so much. Like, tribe is so important,
I completely agree, and it begins with reconciliation.
Yes, it does.
It begins with me saying, God, forgive me.
And that cost you literally nothing to say.
Well, it
to
cost
your
me my
father.
pride. Is what it cost me. It cost me my comfort zone. It brought some new people in my life that I wasn't sure I wanted in there.
But what would have it cost you? If you hadn't
But if
done
I
it,
held on to it, then my kids would not have known the depth and the roots of
and
our
the richness
family.
Of their family. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think it's really important too with African American young men. I mean, we talk so much about they don't really know where they come from. And so there's that disconnect already.
Right.
Like, well, we're not sure. But that was a few generations back. Why can't we reverse that? Why can't we change that mentality so that these young kids know, like, we did go sit on the back of the bus, and we did take the fire hose, and we did do all those things, not for you to repeat it and stay stuck, but to elevate you. Like there is no limit to what you can do now, you know? And I want that for this next generation. I want them to not be so disconnected, you know?
Yeah.
It's like they don't understand community or how to reach out to their grandparents for wisdom.
Yeah.
It's like everyone's divided.
That's a whole nother topic too. Is
another show coming.
Another
soon.
show coming to be announced. Like we're in a place now where the older people want nothing to do with the younger people, and the younger people want nothing to do with the older people. But if they plugged in and they connected, they would get downloaded.
Oh yes.
The history.
Yes.
Of just everything that the elders came from, and then you have some muscle and some strength with the youth.
Exactly.
You know, they could pull up weeds and be around it, and we need each other, and we've lost that when we talk about tribe. You know, I like that you guys. I love the concept. I'm not even a concept. I love the foundational components of House of Ingram, because it's a foundation that is built, and I. Oh my gosh, I'm getting the God download moment here, but I think about like Noah in the Bible, Genesis 6, before he even had kids. 20 years before the flood came, he was building a home for them.
Right.
That they would be safe and protected. You know, and I even think about even in Acts when Paul is in jail and the walls fall down because they're singing praise, and the jail cell guy was about to kill himself because he thought all the prisoners ran off. And Paul said to him, he said, "Don't do that. Repent, be saved. But not only you, but your house will be saved."
Right.
And I'm not making a doctrine that if the Father saved, everybody saved. But, man, there's a great chance. Yeah. And so the family goes as the man goes. And so I thank you guys for having me on the show.
We're so grateful that you could even make time for us. We know the House of Ingrams, we're all about love and honor and integrity. But honor is a big thing that's missing in the world today. Like you said, there's no connection. Everybody's like, I'll just Google the information. I don't need to go. I don't need to deal. But it's like, yes, you do, because this is your family. This is where your resources and the richness of your life come from. Yeah. And I just think it's so awesome that we're all like-minded and wanting to preserve that, because we are building a house that's for the future that none of us are even going to be here for. Right. But how amazing and incredible of a tribe of people will we have created that love, they honor, and they have integrity. Their word means something, and that's lost today, and we got to get it back. We got to get it back. So
it is, and I believe all the world's problems can be solved in the home.
Oh, I agree.
Like how we raise them, how we teach them, and it's because of broken homes that there's so many gaps.
Absolutely.
And so that's why I love the House of Ingram. I was like, that resonates.
Yeah.
It resonates.
From above. That came straight from above. So, and what I want to just a quick touch on, because you said two things that I think for especially anyone out here listening who may have fractures in their family that they're gonna need to heal. Right? You said two things that first of all resonated with me, because I walked through the same exact stuff. Right? It wasn't that I didn't know my father. It was that after my father passed, I had to go and ask for forgiveness from my family, so that fractures in the family would heal, something that he couldn't do while he was here. So, but it was like, and my wife would tell you, there was some calls I was dreading. They were just my brothers and sisters, but I already know kind of like what the environment of my family is. Right. So, I got to walk in, and then I also got to apologize. Like, I didn't even do nothing, all that kind of stuff. But Lord, I need you to go do this. So that was one thing. But the one that it really it just sparked my brain. And it was so touching to me was when you called the first time you called your father, and he was singing, and you heard the same voice. You like, wait, is that me? That exact thing happened to me, but with comedy. Yeah, there was some relatives I did not know. I was in college, and my dad came down and said, "Hey, you got some cousins down here." I'm like, "Oh, okay, well, whatever, let's go." And we went, and when we went to the house, they were cracking jokes. It was old folks, old folks cracking jokes.
They were getting you good, man.
But not only were they cracking jokes, it was the way they laughed.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's the first time I heard someone else laugh like me. And that was like,
That's the identity
this
thing
was
right
the
there.
missing.
Yeah.
Like I couldn't because
Mm-hmm.
my mom's side is North Carolina, Southern proper.
Mm-hmm.
It's that. My dad's side is New Jersey, which is right next to New York.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
it's the clubs, it's singing, it's
And then the country.
All American athlete, all that kind of like. So it was this kind of thing, and so we always used to go to my mother's side for the summers and all that stuff. Very rarely would we go to my dad's side. But as I got older, we started going to my dad's side, and that's when I started seeing myself like, first of all, I'm not the original. That's the first mindset.
Right.
I'm not the original.
Right.
It comes from somewhere. But then also to know like, I am part of this stream. I'm part of this family, this roots. This is what I'm a part of.
Yeah,
Right.
you're a new creation, my man.
Yeah.
And I always wondered why my mom said she wanted to slap me, because I laugh just like my dad, I talk just like my dad, and she be like, I just won't slap you, and I'm like, what I do?
Right.
Nothing. But I get, that the DNA, and it was just like, because the laughs are identical.
It is.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Very, very big
Well,
deal.
we thank you so much for coming today and being
Thank
a
you.
part of this, and thank you for making time for us. It means the world
Thank
to
you
us.
for
And
carving
we
out
know-
time for me to be here.
Please, man.
Anytime you come back, I'm really sad you're going to Texas, but I
Yeah.
know you got to do this, and
Yeah.
so we
You gotta
send
do
you with
this.
our blessings,
Thank you.
beyond blessings.
Right.
If I had some camels and some riches to send
Yes, and-
ahead of you, I
right.
would, because
Some
I just
gold.
know you're
That's
going to
gold and
prosper.
Frankincense and myrrh.
Yes. Making sure you're prosperous while you're
Right,
there, because you
right,
are
yeah.
the son of the Most High God, and you are doing His
Amen.
work. And
Absolutely.
I can't even wait to hear the stories. So we'll have you back as soon as you do this adventure. But thank you
Thank
again
you.
so much. We love
Absolutely.
you,
Love you
and
too.
we hope to talk to you again soon.
Thank
okay?
you guys. God bless you.
Ladies and gentlemen, Lamar Lacangan. Did I get it right?
Lacangan.
Yeah, Lacangan. All right, ladies and
No.
gentlemen. Hey, we thank you guys. We are honored that you were listening to us again. Is there a website or anything that they can go to?
Well, the Sisu Studio or Sisu Collective will be up. SISU Collective.com will be up soon. I took down the Mars website, but it'll be back up because there's new music and stuff coming out.
All
So.
right, perfect.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
Sisu Collection.
Collective.
Collective.com?
Yes.
Okay, SISU. And
Collective.
I wanted to talk to you about that, but we gotta go. But anyway, because I'm like, how did you? That's a Finnish word.
It is.
I know, and I was like, well, what is? Wow, that's pretty.
You know what it means?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. When you have that, they're gonna have the strength, the courage, and all that for hard times, in preparation for hard, like when hard times come, you have some in reserve, ready to go.
Well, yes, and it's achieving goals regardless of the obstacles, but still obtaining those goals.
Exactly.
All right, guys, we're
Sis-
getting
All
the
right.
5, 3, 2, 1
Sis-
sign,
Sis-
so we gotta
Collective.
go. We can
We
talk
could
to them
go
all
forever.
day.
All day
All
long.
right.
All
Call
right.
me.
Hey, y'all be
Call me.
blessed. Welcome out. Hey, we enjoyed you having here again, the House of Ingram. I thank you guys for listening. I'm Eric, and for my beautiful wife, Wendy, we are gone. We'll see you next time.